At 3 p.m. on November 2nd, 2020, the tranquility of the Huafu neighborhood in Nan'an District, Chongqing, China, was shattered. From the 15th floor, two children suddenly fell forcefully to the ground of the neighborhood, creating a loud noise. Their biological father, Zhang Bo, dressed in pajamas and so frantic that he forgot his slippers, ran to where the children had fallen. He pushed through the crowd, knelt on the ground, and cried uncontrollably. He punched the ground and banged his head against the wall, blaming himself for not watching the children carefully, which led to them playing near the window and the unfortunate incident happening. The onlookers sympathized with the father in his despair and expressed sorrow for the unfortunate children. However, a discovery by the police completely changed the direction of the investigation. From over 10,000 conversations extracted from the father's and his mistress's phones, the police discovered that the children had not accidentally fallen from the height, but rather their biological father had pushed them. It is hard to believe that a person could act so cruelly. You are watching a video on the Crime Documentary Files channel. Before following the case, please like and subscribe to our channel to support us. Thank you very much. After the incident, Zhang Bo's Oscar-worthy performance made headlines in major media outlets and garnered much public sympathy. But Chen Meilin, the children's mother, did not believe it. She thought her 2-year-old daughter, who had just learned to walk, and her 1-year-old son, who had not yet learned to walk, could not have fallen from such a height. The apartment in this residential complex had guardrails installed by the developer more than half a meter high from the ground, plus the window height was over 80 centimeters. For a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old, climbing out was almost impossible. After Chen Meilin reported to the police, Zhang Bo was quickly investigated. When questioned by the police, Zhang Bo, who only had an elementary school education, suddenly seemed confused, not understanding why he hadn't thought about this. Numerous pieces of evidence collected from the home investigation pointed to Zhang Bo as the prime suspect. The police confiscated Zhang Bo's phone and recovered more than 17,000 messages between him and his mistress, Ye Chengchen. The investigation team discovered that the two had planned the incident in advance. Despite handling many criminal cases, the conversation between these two heartless individuals still shocked the investigation team. First, let's talk about Zhang Bo's background. He was born in 1994 in a poor family in Fengjiang village, 80 kilometers from downtown Chongqing. Zhang Bo only had an elementary school diploma because he dropped out of junior high to work. Despite his limited education, he was quite handsome and always attracted the attention of young women at his workplace. He had worked at a small financial company for about 3 to 4 years. In 2016, Zhang Bo met his ex-wife, Chen Meilin, when she started working at the company. At that time, Zhang Bo was about to quit but still had some unfinished work, so they were assigned to the same team. Their colleagues often paired them together, and they gradually became closer after work. Zhang Bo frequently guided Chen Meilin in her work and picked her up from the company. Chen Meilin thought Zhang Bo was genuinely nice to her and began to develop feelings for him. However, Chen Meilin graduated from a regular university. Her parents had stable jobs and good incomes. Her family was registered in Chongqing City and owned a large house there. As the only daughter, Chen Meilin was pampered and raised like a flower in a greenhouse. In terms of family background and education, Zhang Bo was far behind Chen Meilin. When they found out that their daughter had chosen a rural boy with no house, no car, and no savings, Chen Meilin's parents strongly opposed their relationship. However, disregarding her parents' vehement objections, Chen Meilin stood by Zhang Bo even when he had nothing. In the early stages of Zhang Bo's small loan company, it was Chen Meilin who supported him through the toughest times. As time went by, Zhang Bo's company gradually grew, and there were times when his monthly income reached 20,000 to 30,000 yuan, equivalent to about $3,000, $4,000. In 2017, less than 6 months into their relationship, Chen Meilin discovered she was pregnant. Upon hearing the news, Zhang Bo immediately proposed marriage. Although Chen Meilin's father remained strongly opposed, he reluctantly agreed because his daughter was pregnant. Notably, the wedding expenses were covered by Chen Meilin's family, including the costs of the wedding rings and the wedding photos. Zhang Bo claimed he had spent a significant amount of money starting his business and currently had no savings. Chen Maylin, blinded by love at the time, didn't think much about it and was simply immersed in the happiness of her little family. However, after their marriage, Zhang Bo seemed to transform into a different person. He worked from morning to night, retreating to the bedroom to play video games as soon as he got home, without talking to his wife. In Chen Meilin's memory, he had never even held their little daughter once. When their daughter Shui Shui turned 1 month old, Chen Meilin became pregnant again. After their son Yang Yang was born, Zhang Bo continued to neglect his children, using his busy work schedule as an excuse not to come home, which further strained and distanced the family relationship. By April 2019, Zhang Bo met Ye Chengchen through his work. He hid the fact that he had a wife and children to pursue her. In August 2019, Chen Meilin discovered their relationship. Zhang Bo then proposed a divorce. However, Chen Meilin, thinking of their 2 young children, refused. She endured the situation, even kneeling to beg her husband not to divorce her. As for his mistress, Ye Chengchen, her intentions were horrifying to many. To her, the 2 children from Zhang Bo's previous marriage were an eyesore. Even though she wouldn't have to raise them, she couldn't bear their existence. Zhang Bo, who was still their biological father, joined her in planning how to get rid of the children and make it look like an accident over the following months. By October 18th, Ye Chengchen could no longer endure the situation. She incessantly messaged Zhang Bo, urging him to act. She promised to relent once his son was out of the picture. After a period of scheming, Zhang Bo began to execute the plan. He said he hadn't seen his daughter in a long time and wanted to buy her some new clothes. He asked his mother to contact his ex-wife, Chen Meilin, to bring their daughter Shui Shui to the Huafu neighborhood that day. When Chen Meilin's mother heard that Zhang Bo wanted to meet Shui Shui, she was very surprised and immediately opposed the idea. She thought it was strange that the father, who had shown no love for his daughter, suddenly wanted to take her out to buy clothes. She even suspected that Zhang Bo might kidnap and sell the girl. Contrary to her mother's suspicions, Chen Meilin believed that while her husband might lack affection for their daughter, a tiger does not eat its cubs. Indeed, who could imagine such a horrific act before it happened? This was beyond human comprehension. Finally, she decided to let her daughter spend time with Zhang Bo, not wanting her to miss out on her father's attention. On October 25th, Chen Meilin personally brought her daughter to Zhang Bo's house, but didn't leave immediately. She suggested waiting until her daughter finished buying clothes so they could play a bit before taking her home. This disrupted Zhang Bo's plan. He quickly texted his mistress, fearing she would misunderstand. "There are many people here now. My mom is getting food for the kids, and their mother is watching them play. I'll take pictures of today for you to see. I'm waiting for an opportunity." Ye Chengchen, upset, replied, "When she arrived, why didn't you tell her mother to leave and just play with the girl?" Zhang Bo tried to convince her, "If it doesn't work today, then next week I'll bring my daughter over to carry out the plan." Ye Chengchen then advised him to handle it cleanly this time and not let things mess up like before. From the data recovered from Zhang Bo's phone, it was evident that this wasn't their first attempt to harm the children. It seemed both were eagerly awaiting the right moment. It's hard to understand what the child could have done to bother her so much that they were in such a rush to take her life. Clearly, the daughter was being cared for by her mother and couldn't have been an obstacle for this ruthless couple. On November 1st, Zhang Bo once again used the excuse of buying clothes for his daughter to ask Chen Meilin to bring her to his house. However, the child's mother was suspicious. She thought it was odd since they had just bought clothes the previous week. Nevertheless, because their son was still with Zhang Bo to ensure better visitation rights later, Chen Meilin couldn't refuse to bring their daughter over. And this gave the terrible father the opportunity to execute his brutal plan. At 3 p.m. on November 2nd, 2020, Ye Chengchen ran out of patience. She sent Zhang Bo a photo of her wrist, self-inflicted with cuts, saying, "I can't wait anymore. I'm too desperate." Seeing the message from his mistress, Zhang Bo immediately expressed his deep love for her and his readiness to face any difficulties. He then resolved to eliminate his own children. Without hesitation, Zhang Bo threw the 2 children out of the window. One child died instantly, while the other passed away in the hospital. The cause of this heartbreaking incident was respiratory and circulatory failure due to multiple organ injuries to the head, brain, chest, and abdomen. During the investigation, the police found Juejue's fingerprints on the window, indicating that she had instinctively grasped at the window as she fell. Additionally, there were footprints from Zhang Bo. This father's cruel actions left many wondering, who exactly was Ye Chengchen that made him willing to kill his own children just for her? Ye Chengchen and Zhang Bo met at work. Learning that she was the daughter of a food company owner in Chengdu, Zhang Bo quickly decided to win her heart. Their chat records revealed that Ye Chengchen had unreasonable whims and made impractical demands, yet Zhang Bo endeavored to fulfill all her wishes. Before long, their relationship became deeply affectionate. To reciprocate Zhang Bo's passionate love, Ye Chengchen introduced several business opportunities to his company. The food company in Chengdu, owned by Ye Chengchen's parents, had been around for over 10 years, with a registered capital of about 500,000 yuan and a total investment of 20 million yuan, specializing in the production and sale of food products. Before the incident, the company's business was doing quite well, and its products were popular among locals. Ye Chengchen held a 20% stake and managed the company's finances. However, after the crime, the company faced backlash from netizens and local boycotts. Despite changing management, the business didn't recover and eventually had to shut down. Before the initial trial, Ye Chengchen's lawyer informed Chen Meilin that her family agreed to pay 300,000 yuan, approximately $50,000 in compensation, hoping for her forgiveness. However, this offer was declined. They then proposed an additional $50,000, but Chen Meilin still firmly refused. She only hoped for the two to be sentenced to death. In court, Ye Chengchen mentioned her self-inflicted wrist cuts before the incident. Zhang Bo, who had always followed her lead, finally expressed his outrage. He said that he had always hesitated about whether to do it, but Ye Chengchen's self-harm forced him to act. Zhang Bo claimed that Ye Chengchen was the instigator and should bear the main responsibility, while Ye Chengchen argued that she acted out of love for Zhang Bo. She said that she did it to make him back off and voluntarily propose a breakup after discovering she was deceived. Ye Chengchen's defense attorney argued that Zhang Bo's actions were premeditated murder, while his client was merely an accomplice. The Chongqing court sentenced both Zhang Bo and Ye Chengchen to death. However, after the sentencing, Ye Chengchen continually appealed, naming several other individuals involved in the case. Thus, the case proceeded to an appellate trial. Meanwhile, Chen Meilin expressed her agony upon learning that her own children were thrown from the 15th floor by their biological father. The moment I heard that my children were thrown from the 15th floor by their father and his mistress, I couldn't find the words to describe my feelings. I cannot imagine what my children felt as they fell from the 15th floor. Were they in despair? Were they scared? Before the appellate trial, Zhang Bo sent Chen Meilin 3 letters in 1 month, pleading for his ex-wife's forgiveness. She stated that Zhang Bo was pretending to be remorseful for his crime, hoping for leniency from the court. She also demanded that he stop his antics to avoid further delays in the trial. Chen Meilin then wrote a reply letter. She said that the best way for him and Ye Chengchen to atone was to accept the original court's verdict and rest in peace. If those who commit such brutal crimes are not sentenced to death, no child will be safe. Chen Meilin pointed out that Zhang Bo hadn't written to her at all during the 13 months since their children's deaths until the first trial, and even longer since they started dating in 2017. In the 3 letters dated January 1st, January 14th, and January 27th, which Chen Meilin posted along with her response in a social media video, Zhang Bo offered her his mortgaged house as compensation. But the heartbroken mother insisted that she would never forgive her ex-husband. She wrote at the end of the letter that for the sake of her 2 children, she had to see him lose his life at any cost. Chinese netizens expressed their support for Chen Meilin's decision. One person pointed out that Zhang Bo's letters were filled with excuses and didn't even mention the children. On December 28, 2021, the Supreme People's Court of China conducted a retrial of this case. After reviewing the evidence, the Supreme Court confirmed that Zhang Bo and Ye Chengchen were the perpetrators, both playing primary roles. The court determined that Zhang Bo and Ye Chengchen viewed his biological children as obstacles to their marriage and planned to murder the two children by making it appear as though they had accidentally fallen from a height. The case severely challenged legal and ethical boundaries, involving cruel methods and causing particularly severe consequences, warranting strict punishment. Ye Chengchen's attempts to blame others were unfounded and false. The Supreme People's Court of China upheld the death sentences for Zhang Bo and Ye Chengchen. On January 31, 2024, the Chongqing No. 5 Intermediate People's Court executed the death sentences issued by the Supreme People's Court of China, putting Zhang Bo and Ye Chengchen to death. Before the execution, the Chongqing No. 5 Intermediate People's Court allowed the two criminals to meet with their families. The crimes committed by these individuals sparked outrage across China due to their cold-blooded nature and the young age of the victims. The saying, "A tiger does not eat its cubs," seemed to lose its meaning in light of Zhang Bo's extreme cruelty. To please his mistress, he heartlessly took the lives of his two young children by pushing them from a high window. The news of their execution quickly became the top trending topic on China's social media platform Weibo on January 31st, with nearly 200 million views. With such heartbreaking details, the question of the fairness and severity of the death penalty becomes very complex. Some believe that the punishment is too harsh, while others feel it is appropriate for the serious crime committed by these two individuals. This reflects a certain degree of societal polarization regarding punishment in cases involving severe crimes like murder. What do you think about this case? Leave your thoughts in the comments below to join the discussion. And before you go, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications to continue following other classic cases on the Crime Documentary Files channel.